going to try not to use these. Oh, we'll see. Hi everyone, my name is Carolyn Kaufman and I'm a writer, health coach, and speaker in the Boston area. And I use my personal story to show people that anything is possible. Now, a lot of people ask me how I lost 160 pounds with multiple sclerosis, which is a great question. But I always feel like it's not quite the right question. The right question would be, how did you lose 160 pounds with the munchies? That's impressive, right? I never wanted to smoke pot growing up. It's illegal, and I'm a good girl. And it's got this stigma attached to it. You all know the stereotype, the lazy, dumb stoner, right? And it's not that I saw marijuana that way, but I knew a lot of people who did, and I just didn't want anyone to see me that way. Plus, weighing 360 pounds, I didn't really see the point in picking up a habit notorious for making you feel hungry and lazy, right? But that all changed after my first relapse. So MS is an autoimmune disease that affects the central nervous system. So my immune system will become inflamed and it'll attack itself, creating damage along the brain and spinal cord. But your central nervous system tells the rest of your body what to do. To walk, to talk, to chew, to bite. Everything is controlled by your brain and spinal cord. So if there's damage, those messages can't get through properly, or at all. So in 2011, I'm having my first big relapse, and it's muscle spasms in between the rib cage. And I kid you not, they call this symptom the MS hug. This is not like any kind of hug I've ever had. I tell people I want to call this symptom the chest crushing, can't breathe, can't walk, can't talk, lying in a fetal position on my bathroom floor symptom. But I've been told that's not very catchy, so hug it is. Now, anyone who's had this symptom gets it differently, but for me it was completely disabling. For 9 months, I was afraid to leave the house, with attacks coming at random a couple of times a week, usually lasting about 8 to 10 hours at a time. Oh, wow. My worst one lasted 19 hours. Think about that. 19 hours of excruciating pain that couldn't be helped by the growing pharmacy of narcotics in my nightstand. Pain pills, muscle relaxers, anti-seizure medications, anti-anxiety pills, sleeping pills, and anything else my doctor would prescribe, and none of it worked. The hugs were coming from a disconnect between some damage on my brain and spine, and the medications are designed to treat the symptom, not the cause. So the muscle relaxer would go right to my muscle and not to what's creating the spasm in the first place. So all of the medications just don't work. They just can't do that. But marijuana does. My little secret weapon. Marijuana, cannabis, my girl Mary Jane. This plant was a game changer for me. I knew I was at rock bottom. I was 23 years old and I didn't want to live anymore if this is what my life was going to be like. So when my brother, who is here tonight, offered me marijuana, and he has an incredible story of his own, I tried the one thing my doctor wasn't prescribing, and it was the only thing that worked. I would smoke, and the hugs would dissipate in 20 minutes. Absolutely. Soon they became less frequent, then they became non-existent, and I was able to come off of every single medication except for one. Marijuana gave me life again. And after that, for the next 2 years, I was able to work full-time, and I had a full social life, even though MS was still a daily battle. I had chronic pain, muscle spasms, stiffness, blurred vision, and even though cannabis helped my symptoms, it wasn't enough to cure me. And eventually, inevitably, I had another big relapse, this time losing my entire right side. For the next 4 months, I struggled to walk, to write, and I couldn't even light a lighter. Oh, I know, you guys all know.
How important that is.
I kept thinking, what was it about cannabis that worked so well the first time? Well, it's got anti-inflammatory properties, right? So I'm thinking, what else can I do to reduce inflammation in my body? I did a ton of research, and I switched to a strict anti-inflammatory diet, and I began practicing meditation and happiness exercises daily. I would come up with small exercise goals, like just being able to walk with my cane down to the end of the hallway and back. And I continued smoking pot because I was afraid of what would happen if I stopped. When I started this wellness plan, I was optimistic, but I had no idea how much things would change. Over time, I started feeling healthier, stronger, and in less pain. So I moved to Boston, and I got a better job, and then I started weight training, and then I started running, which is crazy enough all in itself. Even crazier than that is the weight came off as a happy side effect to healthy living. You know, it's so funny, I was so worried about anyone seeing me as this lazy stoner, but smoking before a workout was the only way I could get through it without pain. I meal prepped just for the munchies. Dried fruit, popcorn, frozen bananas with cocoa powder. I did whatever I had to do and I made it work, and it did. I lost 157 pounds. I started having some symptom-free days, and that's when I really started wondering, this is the thinnest and healthiest I've ever been in my entire life. Did I go through all of that just so I could work full-time? Right? This disease is incurable, and it's progressive. And I never want to look back and think that I missed an opportunity to do something big when I had the chance. So at the beginning of this year, I quit my job, and I spent almost all my money to travel. For the first couple of months, I took off and I went through the US, visiting family and friends in California, Orlando, Miami Beach. And it wasn't until I was right about to board an international flight to Peru for a month that I finally faced my fear of going without marijuana for the first time since that first relapse. I couldn't bring it with me. And I didn't have connections there. And I thought, well, maybe with everything else I do, maybe I just don't need it. So my life had been run by fear for so long. I couldn't let it hold me back anymore. It was either my weight, my illness, this fear of what could happen. And for the first time in my life, I was going to take advantage of the moment. So I left my cane at home and I took off for Lima. Now the first couple of weeks, I was going to stay with a friend. And then the next few weeks, I was going off on my own to explore, touring Cusco, Ollantaytambo, the Sacred Valley, trekking Machu Picchu at sunrise. A 5-day silent meditation retreat on an island in the middle of Lake Titicaca. The tours and hostels were booked, and I had planned the trip of a lifetime. All I had to do was stay strict to my whole foods pescatarian diet, meditate daily, and exercise, and I would be fine. I was not fine. I didn't expect it to be so hot in Lima, and within a week after landing, my MS began taking over. I really struggled to get out of bed, and getting up and down the stairs felt impossible. And then my chest started getting tight, and that's when I really started worrying. I was petrified at the idea of having another big relapse in a country where I don't even speak the language. So my friend is trying desperately to find me marijuana, but she doesn't smoke and neither do her friends, and I'm emailing everyone from home, trying to find someone to find some sort of connection in Peru, and I can't find anything. And then I'm really starting to panic. And then a friend of mine from home emailed me and said he had found a guy in Peru who was willing to help. That night, that guy and I were friends on Facebook. And after chatting in broken Spanglish for about 30 minutes, we made plans to meet the next day. I was so desperate that I took a cab into the city to meet a strange man to buy illegal drugs in a foreign country. So much for being a good girl, right? But it worked out. He was lovely. And after smoking, all of my muscles relaxed, and I could breathe fully for the first time since landing in Lima. After that, I could walk around, go shopping, sightsee, get lunch, and when my friend picked me up that day, she looks at me and says, "So that's it? You're all better now?" I said, "Not quite, but I will be." 1 week later, I took off for my adventure without a second thought. In less than 2 years, I went from challenging myself to walk just down to the end of the hallway and back, from being too big to even fit on the plane to get here, to hiking mountains in Peru. I am so grateful for cannabis, and I will never again be ashamed of this gift from the earth that allows me to live not only as a contributing member to society, but to experience all the incredible things life has to offer. I don't want to know what my life would be like without cannabis, because when I use it, it's the best part of my day, because it's the only time of day that I get to go completely symptom-free. There's no doubt in my mind that without it, I would still be sick, super morbidly obese, and in daily chronic pain. I am a walking, talking cannabis case study. Let's end the stigma and show people how powerful this plant can really be.
Bravo.
You are all part of a movement, creating an impact that has the potential to heal a lot of people who are desperately suffering. I thank you all deeply for that, and I look forward to meeting all of you tonight. Thank you.